Imagine staying the night in a historic Winnipeg hotel and waking up to footsteps echoing down a hallway, or visiting a theater only to hear whispers when no one's there. Is this just legends or real life stories? Tonight we walk you through Winnipeg's most haunted sites, bring you real life accounts from staff, investigators, and news. Welcome to the Spirits of the Peg. Let's dive in. Winnipeg has two important factors. On the one hand, you have a city which is rich on history and it's very cold in winter. And on the other hand, you have older homes, older neighborhoods, and older buildings. So that's a pretty good combination for really spooky stories. Maybe some of them even real stories. Many skeptics, such as investigators and media crews, have tried to separate facts from legends. For example, in 2024, just last year, City News Winnipeg building at the Forks became subject to a ghost hunt by the Winnipeg Paranormal Group. That is just one of many locations we'll be exploring today, from castles, old theaters, and jails. We'll talk about them later in the video. Let's start from the beginning. Winnipeg's most famous haunted building, built in 1913, is the famous Winnipeg Fort Garry Hotel. It has tons of ghost stories, but the most important legend is what happened in room 202. What happened was that a woman that stayed there took her own life after hearing that her husband died in a car accident. Guests have reported hearing voices and footsteps in halls and ballrooms. Other guests have reported as well that they have seen an actual woman dressed like in the 1950s or and sitting at the dining table in the restaurant. Next is the Lower Fort Garry. Now, this is a National Historic Site with almost 200 years of history. It has served as a fur trade hub, a penitentiary, and even an asylum. Now, the legend here is the three-step ghost. First, we have footsteps heard on the gravel, eventually to stairs, and finally inside a room with no one there. The second story here is of a man that has been seen staring from a third floor warehouse window when the building is completely empty. Finally, locals say that there is a dog who runs along the riverbank during the moonlight, waiting for his master to return. Now this last one just breaks my heart. I want to adopt that dog. Number 3 is Dalnavert Museum. Now, this was built in 1895 and it was home to Hugh John Macdonald, son of first Prime Minister. Today is a Victorian heritage site, but visitors say like being watched. They have sudden chills or even heard noises. And although there hasn't been any ghost sightings, the atmosphere feels like it could perfectly happen anytime. Next is the Masonic Temple, built again in 1895. It's a cultural landmark. The most famous legend here is the ghost chair on the third floor. Theater groups say that whenever they move the chair, it always returns to the same spot. By the way, this building has been vacant since 2006 and it's a staple for the Winnipeg's ghost tour. Next is the Burton Cummings Theatre, originally known as the Walker Theatre. It has a lot of chilling stage stories. Some performers rehearsing on stage have heard applauses coming from the upper balcony while they were completely alone in the theater. Security guards have said that they have seen doors closing by themselves while no one there. A lot of the hauntings in the theater are linked to a couple of English actors who performed there in 1914, but shortly after they perished in an accident. and many believed that their spirits returned to the theater. Other possible but not as known sites are the following: Lower House, located in San Vital; Hamilton House, which was a psychic researcher; Vaughan Street Jail, located on the corner at Memorial and York Avenue; and Seven Oaks House Museum. While there's a lot of skepticism around this topic, no one negates the fact that being inside these buildings is completely paranormal. You generally feel unsettled, and many people just avoid the fact being on your own in these locations. So what do you believe? Are they real life stories? Are they just legends? Let me know in the comment section below, what do you think? Or if you know even more places that I've missed. See you on the next video.